All right already. Jeez, gosh, get off my back. What do you see so badly?
What's the big deal? I was getting my sexy pants. Holy f...
Did you guys see it? Did you guys see the game yet?
Welcome to Boardello, where you will learn everything about games you are curious about but were afraid to ask. Everyone plays board games. It's natural, not sinful. We are your hosts, James, Johann, and Nicholas.
Get upset on the internet, you're a salt adult, you're a salt adult. Get upset on the internet, you're a salt adult. Throwing out a hissy fit, your views ain't in the millions, and every up and comer is a threat to what you're dealing. And instead of getting better, you just spout up on your Facebook, crying on your Twitter bit about how bad your case looking.
Woo! If you're like me, you attended one of the biggest shows in hobby gaming, the Lake Geneva WARGAMES convention. Or, as it's been nicknamed since then, Gen Con, but hardly anybody calls it that. Despite the big 50th anniversary being last year, this year still had a lot of excitement to it, including the FFG in-flight report that Fantasy Flight actually saved big announcements for, Greater Than Games' Ruins of Atlantis Masquerade Ball that features special performers 2d6, awesome, drama from a bar fight between tabletop personalities that Gen Con basically outlawed speaking about, and most importantly, the new, the numerous, the awesome games. So many new exciting releases. And what did I buy? Last year's hype. That's called keeping up with trends, people! Alright, so what's there to say about it? Well, lots of things, but possibly nothing new. This game was talked about everywhere after the great first impressions people had with it at Gen Con. Tom Vassell, Game Boy Geek, and the like did videos about it, news outlets like Polygon talked it up, and everyone just seemed to like it immediately as soon as they had a chance to just play it. And when I finally demoed it myself, I saw this firsthand. I mean, people were buying the game before the demo was even finished. Well, let's get down to it. What's up with this game? Flavor-wise, it's about growing trees. And like the title says, sunlight has a lot to do with it. The players are... Actually, what are the players? The rulebook never really specifies a role or any characters, so maybe we're just people reseeding a forest. Or if you want, we could be like nature spirits caring for a delicate ecosystem. Alright, so here's how it plays. Each player is in charge of their own color of trees. Everyone starts by filling up the spaces on their personal tableau with pieces, until it's full. The rest of your pieces are put beside it, known as your available area. Then, everyone takes turns placing two of their small trees, one at a time, anywhere on the outer ring of the middle board. The sun starts at this corner of the board. The day tracker starts with 1, everyone puts their money trackers at 0, and the first round can begin. At the beginning of every round after the first, the sun moves to the next corner of the board, and everyone at the same time gathers light points, or basically money in this game. This is the titular Photosynthesis Phase. This is how it works. The sun piece points inwards towards the board, and its blinding rays all point in the same direction, lining up with the hex grid. Any trees that have a clear view of these deadly rays and can look directly at them, or in other words, are not being blocked by another tree's shadow, gain money depending on how big they are. The bigger the tree, the more money. Small trees gain 1, medium 2, big 3. Being blocked by another tree piece depends on that piece's size, and its distance from your piece. Trees that are the same size or bigger than your tree block your tree. Shadows are the amount of spaces behind a tree that count as being blocked. Small trees are 1 space, medium trees 2, big trees 3. Shit, just like in real life. Being short just makes life harder.
Wow, the trees look so good with all the berries coming in right now.
Yep.
What? Could you at least lower your head or...
Your mom lowered her head on me last night.
As you can already see, the sun moving around means that trees may change from being blocked to blocking another tree, both, or just being wide open. This is perhaps the meat and potatoes of the game's strategy, as you're trying to plan when you'll have sun money, available at what times in order to get what you need on the board. After the photosynthesis phase, everyone takes their turn to do as many actions as they can afford to pay for, which is the life cycle phase. There are 4 types of actions you can do, all costing Sunny. 1. Buying seeds and trees off your tableau, starting from the bottom up, so that they're available to use. They get more expensive as you go up. 2. Planting seeds onto the board. All trees have to start as a seed, and have to be planted near another one of your trees, depending on how big that tree is. Again, following the 1, 2, 3 rule, small trees must have seeds planted no further than 1 space away, medium trees can be up to 2 spaces, and big trees 3. Seeds don't get you any light points, not until they become a small tree. 3. Growing a tree. All trees go through the cycle of seed, then small, medium, and big tree. When you pay to grow, you go to the next growth step. The tree piece that was replaced then goes back to your tableau in their designated row to be bought again, unless there's no room for them, in which case it gets removed from the game. 4. Scoring points. Sort of like the final growth step, the only way to get points in the game is to pay for a big tree to be taken away, upon which you'll draw a scoring tile from the pile whose amount of leaves correspond with the tile that big tree was on. All of these actions cannot be done to the same space on the board in the same turn. You'll have to spread your actions among your pieces. The player's turn is done when they can't afford anything else, or want to stop spending money. Once everyone's done with their turn, the first player token moves clockwise so that everyone gets a chance to go first in placement. The sun will move again next round, and once it gets back to the first corner it started on, the next day starts. Game ends at the end of day 3, and most points wins. Let's go through a few turns.
Every round starts with the photosynthesis phase. First, player 1 of the round moves the sun to its new location. Next, every player, at the same time, looks at which of their trees isn't being blocked by shadows and counts the light points they'll get from them. We're orange, and as we can see, we get 3 light points from these trees. We don't get any sunny from these trees because they're being blocked from the sun from this direction. This one by the small tree next to it, and this one by this large tree, because it casts a shadow 3 spaces long. And not only is that tree of ours the same size or smaller than it, but it's also within 3 spaces to it, putting it right at the edge of its shadow. Once everyone has gathered their light points, everyone takes their turn during the life cycle phase. The first player starts and has 6 points available from the photosynthesis phase. First, they use it to buy a seed into their available area. Then, they pay to grow one of their small trees into a medium tree, which makes the small piece go back onto an available space on the tableau so that they can buy it again in the future. Finally, they pay to plant a seed and put it 2 spaces away from this medium tree, since the medium tree allows you to plant that far away from it. They decide to save the rest of their points and end their turn. Next is our turn. We pay to grow a small tree into a medium tree so that once the sun moves next turn, we won't get blocked by Blue's small tree right in front of us. However, since we don't have any room on our tableau, that means that small tree piece we replaced is lost forever. If we keep doing that, the only small trees left to buy would be the more expensive ones. We also pay to grow a seed to a small tree. It won't be blocking anything next turn, but at least now it'll actually get us points. Since we run out of light points, that ends our turn. Finally, it's the last turn of the round. The only thing they do is pay to score a tile by removing their big tree. Since that tree was on a 3-leaf space, they draw from the 3-leaf pile. This reveals a slightly smaller score for the same pile, meaning they got one of the higher scoring ones for getting there first. They save the rest of their light points. After this, the round ends, and the first player token moves clockwise to us. We'll be going first next round.
So, first of all, let's get the presentation out of the way. Like everyone's already said, yes, it's a damn good looking game. The paintings use excellent color choices for the theme, and the game's physical structure and gameplay mechanics, not the least of which is the differing tree heights that serve as an actual function in the game, really make it look like a cute little cardboard forest is popping up on your table. Oh, look at that, look how cute it is! But don't get distracted by the beauty.
Beer, anybody?
That cardboard, by the way, is claimed to be made from 100% recycled paperboard, which keeps the game morally honest as well considering the flavor. Also, let's not forget that the game box is also made to be able to comfortably store all the trees, by color even, while they're still constructed, making storage even easier, which is just a complete turn-on for board gamers these days, after all the years of buying plastic bags and third-party inserts. Shit, the Blue-Orange booth at Gen Con even taped a handle onto the game so I could carry it easily without a bag. What class acts? All these pretty things, they make me regret not doing an unboxing video or something for it. Well, I mean, I still have the trash from it. Look at it! Look at it! Enough though, let's talk about that gameplay. Does this count as worker placement? More like area control? I don't know what the technical term for its placement mechanic is, but I've seen the word abstract get thrown around a lot in discussions, which, let's be honest, totally makes things easier. Regardless, one part of the abstract definition is perfect information, which definitely is correct. Much like the game chess, all players are aware of all information all the time. There's no luck or chance mechanic. Everyone knows what everyone can and will do, and you'll even know how many turns you'll get if you do the quick math, which in a regular game is 18 turns, and in an advanced game, 24. Because of these facts, planning ahead in this game is essential. Everyone knows where and when the sun will be, so they'll all be jockeying for positions to take advantage of it, which is easier at first when the board is more empty, but starts to threaten that dreaded analysis paralysis once the forest really starts to pop up and you have to plan around everyone else's trees. Like chess, it's possible to have decision trees for miles. Naturally, this means that at a moment's notice, your options can completely change once your opponents do anything that affects your trees. A really basic strategy to keep in mind that seems obvious, that at least helped me win my first game, is to try to plant and grow trees where you know the sun will be, and time it so that you'll always be getting at least a little sun money every turn. If you have enough light points, try to at least prep for sun and grow something every turn. As long as you can keep up the growth and income at the same time each turn, you'll be in a decent position to get a big tree, and then score it here or there a few times before the end of the game. What's my biggest beef with the game? I really can't think of many issues, but then again, I'm super biased towards games that I've won before. Very often I've fallen into the trap of really liking games, mainly because I won the first time I played, or win it often.
Why don't you guys ever want to play the games I like?
You only suggest games you win all the time, like Element or Machikoro.
Okay, what about zombie dice? I mean, it's just rolling dice.
No, that one too. Your rolls are freakishly good in that game.
You guys are being silly. Hey, 13 brains on the first roll.
Red-nosed big shoe clown fucker.
What's the biggest beef I've personally seen other people have with it? If you'll believe me, it's too mean. Too mean? Really? To be fair to them, this is never really a comment on the quality of the game, but rather of how this game doesn't line up with their preferences. I mean, yeah, it can be cutthroat because player interaction is a core part of the game's mechanic for getting light points, as in whether you're being blocked or not. I guess it's jarring to people because of the flavor, and how friendly it seems like it's going to be.
Oh, don't be mean, tree.
Daddy needs some space.
Photosynthesis is a fun and gorgeous resource gathering and worker placement game that puts a twist on interaction by having proximity be a factor in placement. Planting your seeds has consequences both positive and negative by either potentially blocking off opposing players' access to sunlight or giving you access to power turns where you gain lots of light points. However, this can backfire if you don't grow the correct trees and start blocking yourself. The only negative I see is that due to the turn structure and the fact that you can't do more than one action to a space in a turn, there comes a point near the end of the game where some players will realize that they cannot possibly win, but still need to go through the motions, also known as the dreaded zombie turns. Ghost turns is also acceptable.
Hey! Hey, yeah, you! What's the matter? Don't you want to come over here and touch me again?
No, thank you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Maybe next time I'll come in there and make a house out of you. You like that?
I thought trees were supposed to be nice.
Your mother was nice to me last night. Hey, fix your face. She's a nice lady.